one. What's up, you guys, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Ask Alex Show. And I'm so excited to do this show. I'm glad you guys saw the new intro and the new different things that I'm building for the show. But I could not do this show without my co-host, Mr. Jeremy Branch and Ian Elliott Carter. How are you guys doing today?
So I'm getting on a plane to go to California tomorrow, and I got my playlist planned out. It's nothing but Tupac. It's To Live and Die in LA and California Love on a constant loop for the next 72 hours. So I'm really excited about it, man. I can't wait.
Oh, that's gonna be dope.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
I love every time we do something. He's got it. The first thing he's got to do is stunt on us. So let's see. What am I doing? That's cool. Oh, I just quit my job, man. I just quit my job. I'm gonna do. Yeah.
Are you serious?
I did. That's why I'm here, baby. I just quit my job because I haven't done YouTube all year. I didn't quit my job for YouTube. I ain't stupid, but I am doing Uber full time. But then I can make my own schedule. So hopefully now, that I'm not as tired, I can get back to the game.
Did you just now quit your job?
Yeah, this morning. No, I'm just kidding. I put in my 2 weeks. I put in my 2 weeks last week, and it's not even been 2 weeks. I'm just like, I'm making too much money with Uber. I'm just gonna do that.
Good.
Fun fact, because I actually do Uber on the side too. I've made like literally almost $200 to $300 a day. Just
what? And you know what's crazy? Orlando, where you're from, and Tampa is probably some of the best places, in Miami too, but best places in Florida to do it. So
yeah, like and by the way, that's strictly Uber Eats. That's not me.
Oh, you're doing Uber Eats? I was doing Uber Eats. Now I'm doing Uber. I'm making so much more money with Uber. But yeah, Uber Eats is good money too.
Yeah,
I'm about to get into Uber.
By the way, once you go to Cali, do not go to the wrong side of the tracks. I don't want to hear that you accidentally got shot in any gang related stuff.
I'm going straight to Compton. I don't know what you're talking about, dude.
Man. Don't be wearing no red or no blue.
No, we got a strict itinerary planned out. And yeah, I do feel like I'm stunting, but I've never been to California before. Alex, you were there for like months.
Yeah, I was there for 30 days. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. And you liked it.
I mean, I loved it. It's great air. A lot of fun places. It's kind of like another version of Orlando, just bigger. Only problem is it's like it's hella expensive to live out there.
And you were tripping
like Orlando's
people?
Not cheap. Like Orlando's
I mean, a one bedroom here versus a one bedroom there. Oh my God, it's crazy. But definitely visit Burbank because you're gonna pass at least Disney, Warner Brothers. You're gonna pass the Paramount lot, bro. Like you're gonna lose your mind once you see that Warner Brothers lot and Legendary is right next to it. Oh God, bro!
I'm headed to Warner Brothers studio. Oh, and Ian, you'll appreciate this. I got tickets to see Anthony Jeselnik, Eliza Schlesinger, Arsenio Hall. I told y'all that already. And Neil Brennan is actually playing on another night. So we're going 2 nights to the Comedy Store, 1 night to the main room, 1 night to the OR, and I'm hyped, man. Look, this is the biggest trip we've ever been on. Ian, I think you succinctly said it best when you said, I've toured every single place in Alabama, but that's really the only vacations that we go on are close. So it'll be fun, man.
I'm excited for you, man. Definitely jealous about Arsenio and Neil Brennan, but man, I'm excited for you, man. You and your wife deserve it. Seriously.
Yeah.
And you just had a trip to DC, right? Or DR?
No, DR. That would be weird if I took my honeymoon to DC. What do I look like? One of those freaking weirdos that stormed the Capitol? I went to the DR.
And it was dope. I mean, I saw that picture or the video of you jumping off that waterfall.
Yes, I jumped off of a cliff and I survived. I never felt more alive.
Hell yeah.
Man, yep. A lot of us here on the channel have doing a lot of great things. It's good, and again, it's good to have this reunion because we haven't done this in about a few weeks or so. So,
Correct.
but yeah, this is why you guys come and watch us on a daily or a weekly basis. And if you want your topic or question on this show, it's very simple, guys. Send me an email at theaskalexshow at gmail.com. That's the Ask Alex Show at gmail.com. If you send your topic or question on the show, more than likely it will be answered here on the show. I'm not going to do like other YouTubers slash podcasters and remove their fan base completely and just start talking
Damn.
about random news stories. Not to say that's a bad thing. I'm just saying, and I'm also not going to fire any of my co-hosts to
What are
make
we talking about?
it what it
Ooh.
is.
Is he
Not talking
talking
about
about
anybody in
someone
particular.
from the West Coast?
I have no. I mean, yeah, you are going to. You might run into this guy Jeremy tomorrow, so you
I don't
never
know
know.
what you're talking about, but now you got me so curious. We'll talk later.
But anyway, but yeah, we don't want to start Collider 2.0 or nothing like that. No, we just want to have great conversation with
Mm.
great co-hosts and great topics. So, and also, if
Before
you
we start
can't
the
watch
show,
this,
man, you gotta let me know if I'm beefing with somebody, bro. I got your back, but what?
I'm
What?
not.
what?
You know, it's funny. I'm not beefing with anybody. I'm not beefing with this guy in particular. I'm not, because I've actually had conversations with him, and he has a good point. But at the same time, the whole buildup of all of that shit, I'm like, really, dude, to fire everybody and you do that? You might as well just stayed in your bedroom and did the show instead of renting a studio. But anyway, that's either near, farther near there. But anyway, I'm sorry, I'm going on this little tangent in my subliminals. But anyway, if you cannot watch this show on YouTube live, because this show will always be live now, you can go back and watch the playback, or you can definitely listen to it on Spotify. So if you type in the Ask Alex Show on Spotify, more than likely you will get this updated episode on that service as well. And guys, go support our sponsors, Blurred Up Creations, who put out great up, who put out great apparel and great souvenirs and things of that nature. You type in the code Momentum, you get 50% off every single purchase. That's 15% off every single purchase. Now, guys, we have a jam-packed show for you guys today. I can't wait to start talking about some of these topics. But before we get into our topics, I have one off the top that we were just mentioning a couple minutes ago before we got on live. And I had somebody ask me, what do I think of this current season of Mandalorian season 3? I've stated on this channel multiple times before, I am not a huge Star Wars fan. I'm like your general Star Wars fan. But the one thing that I really liked was Mandalorian. I love season 1. I really love season 2. Um, Now we're on season 3. I can say season 3 had a good start. Like I love the first 2 episodes. Um, After that, I hate this show. I was just telling the guys, I really hate this show. They're doing I don't know. I don't know about y'all, but I don't know what the end goal is supposed to be now. Like at first I had a clear idea, but now they kind of wrap that up by episode 3. So I'm kind of like, well, what the fuck else are you guys doing? And not only that, just some of the decisions that they're making from a narrative standpoint are not that great. It's kind of turning into Boba Fett season 1 after episode 3 for me. And then this is not the shit on actors and artists who want to do different things. I think
Yeah, it is.
Lizzo being a part of Mandalorian is definitely different for her career. But let's be very clear. I don't think Lizzo knew what Star Wars was before they asked her to be a part of Star Wars. And this is not the shit on her acting ability because I don't consider her an actor, but it was literally just Lizzo in Star Wars. Whatever character she was portraying, fuck the name of the character. It was literally just Lizzo. And then Jack Black, who is a thespian actor, same thing. It was just Jack Black. Regardless of whatever character he was portraying, it was just Jack Black. There's a scene where in that particular episode where Baby Yoda is looking at Lizzo, and I kept thinking to myself, Baby Yoda's looking at Lizzo like, who the fuck is this person in this episode? Like, why are you here? Like, I think season 3 from a narrative standpoint is going off the rails. I think Favreau and Dave Filoni need to go back to the drawing board if they're going to do season 4 to wrap up the series. I'm hearing they're probably going to do like a movie or something of that nature. Me personally, again, Mandalorian's my favorite out of the Disney Plus Star Wars stuff. This season, I really hate, and I hate saying that because I felt bored every time. Like Andor kept me on my fucking feet. This, I'm like, really? Like, are you serious right now? So I don't know. From the Star Wars fans, Jeremy, what do you think about Mandalorian season 3? And am I being too harsh on this particular season?
I'm gonna be honest, just for the flow of things, I kind of would rather hear Ian's take
Oh,
first
okay,
because I
okay.
feel like y'all might. Is Ian? Is it fair to say y'all are kind of on the same page?
No, we're
Okay, all right. Talk to me, man.
So I understand his criticism though, so it's not my favorite season, but I don't think they're going off the rails. I think they were. I agree with everything he said about the episode with Lizzo and Jack Black. I think Star Wars is probably better off doing like unknown actors or like it or not as big as Jack Black or Lizzo. Like it does take you out of the show. So I 100% agree with him. Like I was just the whole time I was like, that's Lizzo and that's Jack Black. But like when we watched, say, The Force Awakens, we didn't really know who Daisy Ridley was or John Boyega or
That's a
Adam
good point.
Driver were. Like,
Right,
so
right.
it kind of was like we're in that world. I agree with that. And there was some moments like, I don't know, the season I was just like, let's get back to what this season was supposed to be about, taking back Mandalore. And we're finally there, which I think the last episode was probably one of my favorite episodes, if not of the series. But there was times I was like, let's get back on track. Let's be back on track. But when they were on track, I loved it. I loved it. And I got to correct Alex one time. You got to stop calling him Baby Yoda, man. It's kind of like calling you a black YouTuber. His name's Grogu. Grogu.
Yeah.
But
He will always be Baby Yoda to me. But
That's
okay.
fair.
But yeah, I think it's got great stuff. Is it my favorite season? No, it probably is my least favorite season, but I don't think it's like it's like a shit show, like you're saying. I think it does. I would do things differently. But I think now that they're on track, what sucks that they're on track, there's one more episode left. There's like this one and one more. I wish the whole season was like Taking Back Mandalore. That would have been great instead of these side quests. But that's what he does. Mando, he goes to a planet like, hey, can you show me where this is, or can you give me this? Not until you save us from the people that's been putting us for slavery for years. All right, fine, I'll save you, and then give me what I need. That's what it's been since season 1.
That's
so
facts.
yeah, I get it, but at the same time, I kind of wish that was the whole thing, was Taking Back Mandalore.
I thought the whole season was supposed to be based upon Taking Back Mandalore. These side quests are getting annoying.
Okay, so all right, here I can't believe you're so mad about this, dude. You, Alex, are wild. Ian, you got a nuanced take, and I appreciate you for that, my guy.
Thank you.
Look, this season has been about uniting all of the clans to take back Mandalore. It's been a slow drip because first it had to be Sabine had to have that transformative moment when she actually comes in contact with that mythosaur, right? And I thought that was really cool. We still don't know, was it like a spiritual vision like the armorer says it was, or did she actually see a mythosaur down there? But it was like a baptism and a rebirth. I really like that. I like that they're doing these things where they're manipulating Jedi and Force-sensitive DNA into clones. I think that could have some interesting implications moving forward. I really like seeing these stormtroopers with Beskar armor and freaking jetpacks on. Like, they're remixing the Star Wars stuff that we know. And look, over the years, I'm supposed to be the most down on Star Wars. I did grow up a huge fan, but like, there's a sameness to all of it. It's constantly retreading the same things, but at least they're taking things that we recognize and doing something different with them. Like I really like this season, and I feel like the ratings are dropping every single episode. Like less and less people are watching it. Andor was the least viewed of the Star Wars series, and it's the best one. I think that they know that they have to do some different things, and they're struggling to find their footing in that. When we look at like Ahsoka bringing in the live action Rebels, I hope that like moving forward, they can give us something a lot more individual, like that has its own identity. But I think that what they're doing with the Mandalorians is interesting. And while if you did watch Clone Wars or Rebels, you've seen a lot of their customs and their cultures before, I really like to see it brought onto the screen in this way. And that episodic nature, I do agree that those side quests are kind of taking away from the serialized storytelling. I think a lot of people like Mandalorian because you can like turn it on and watch it and then move on to the next thing instead of it all being super connected. But I feel like it's going more in that direction of being super connected, which is what you're talking about, where the whole season is about reclaiming Mandalore. I thought that last episode with Lizzo and Jack Black was cool. Like, I totally agree that you're looking at Jack Black and Lizzo, and they weren't my favorite part, but what they were doing with the droids, I've always asked, like, how much empathy are we supposed to have for droids? If you stab a droid, does it feel it? You know what I'm saying? Like, because in episode 4, they like press these hot irons to the bottom of this droid's feet and it screams. So I've always wondered, do they have nerves? That doesn't seem to add up. But we learn in this last episode, which maybe is a whole other conversation to be had, but that they essentially like to be useful to humanity, that they like enjoy their roles and they're happy to like have a purpose, I guess, in their existence, which the line of what is sentient from what is not sentient is being blurred every day with things like Chat GPT. So anyways, I thought the subtext of that was interesting. I thought it was a cool time to be exploring it. This last episode was dope. I will say that every time there's an action sequence now, all I think is it's not as good as John Wick 4. But I'm really digging this stuff moving forward. So I'm curious to see how this last episode wraps up. I like Giancarlo Esposito a lot, and I'm really stoked to see Sasha Banks, a.k.a. Mercedes Varnado, get an actual like role this season. So yeah, I got thoughts. I like it more than y'all. That's wild.
Yeah. I think it's gonna it looks like the grand finale is gonna be dope though. Like, considering that last episode, it looks like it's building up to something like great. Which I said, like, I wish the whole season was like that, but it looks like these last 2 episodes might be the best Mandalorian.
Yeah,
I got something else to say too. Christopher Lloyd, who I love, Back to the Future Cup right here.
Yes.
That one also threw me out a little bit. I did like what he was saying though. I understood his point of view. But at the same time, it looked like an old man just like yelling at the cloud.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I mean, I agree with those points. I would say I am interested to see how it's going to end, but I'm not gonna lie, I won't be surprised if the ending is underwhelming, in my opinion. That's just me. But I get it. Maybe I am being too harsh on it, but at the same time, because people have made that point. If you watch season 1, it was nothing but side quests, and then also protecting Grogu. But at this point, I'm kind of like, all right, I would figure that it would be a little bit more intense and dynamic in the process of taking back Mandalore by grabbing all these different Mandalorians together. And by the time we get to the last episode, it's going to be like a full 60-minute gritty war between our Mandalorian and his people, and then the other Mandalorians. That's what I would assume. But
I
then
actually
again,
like the
you don't know.
politics. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I actually
go
like
ahead.
the politics. I like the politics on this season too, though. Like, you know that whole episode that they did on, what was it, Coruscant? With the guy, they're now good people technically. It looks like they're going toward like he's the one that made Palpatine or whatever. But I like that episode. I like that she's a spy in the New Order and all that shit. I think that was actually really good writing in my opinion. So.
Yeah, and I feel that. But what do you guys think? Just jump into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts about what you think of Mandalorian season 3. Do you think that the finale will definitely tie it all together and make it a great season? Let us know in the comment section below. Now we're going to jump into our main topics, and one of our first main topics come from one of my good co-workers, Mr. Keith Beers. And he writes, oh, go ahead, Jeremy.
Oh no, I think I'm poking the duck in the bottom of the head.
Oh wow.
All right. All right, my
Oh
bad.
wow.
My bad, Keith.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. And Keith writes, "Hey guys, so over this past weekend in the week, I've read reports that Disney is heavily considering removing Jonathan Majors as Kang. Given the fact that he's only made a couple appearances, it makes it simple to replace his character with a different actor. However, nothing has come out to clear his name as of yet. I'm assuming that we'll probably hear something by the end of this month going into the summer. Do you think it's wise for Disney to move this quickly in terms of removing him as Kang?" Well, thank you for your question, Mr. Keith. So as you guys know, literally over the past couple months now, it's been about what, about 2 months now. Jonathan Majors got into some trouble
Damn,
with a
2 months.
woman. I believe it was his girlfriend or someone that he's dating. I'm not sure, but either way, anyway, he was arrested. And then he did he did bail out, but a lot of his lawyers were making claims that, you know, the truth's coming out really soon, and he'll be vindicated and all these things. And
Cap.
aside from a lot of his lawyers talkings, we have not heard anything official from the proper authorities. That being said, to answer your question, do I think Disney is acting rationally in terms of removing him too soon? If that's what the reports are saying, because I did read a report that Disney is considering recasting Kang. Um, well, I'll say this: as a company, you have to do what's best for your company. However, I think before they react, because Kang is further on down the line this year in terms of what we're going to see him as like the main villain in Avengers King Dynasty. And then also, if memory serves, I believe Jonathan Majors has already shot season 2 of Loki, so he's already there unless they crop him out and replace him, which
Mm.
they have to spend more money rebuilding that season.
They got it.
Um, so yeah, and they do got it. But my thing is, I don't think they should remove him just yet. I do think they should wait until a final judgment comes out. That way we can get the legal side on it. Now, as far as public opinion, I don't know if he did what he did. I would like to think that he didn't, but at the end of the day, I have no idea. I don't know the man personally. I know him from his movies, and actually the people I actually know in Hollywood have said nothing but good things about him. But again, they're only speaking from a standpoint of watching him in movies or on set. As far as him as a person, no one I know has talked to him directly or had lunch with him or know his people. So as a human being, I would say innocent and until proven guilty, but we live in a world where you're guilty until you're proven innocent.
Mhm.
So honestly, I think what Disney should do, in my humble opinion, is wait till everything is finalized and then they make their decision. Because if they make their decision now and they recast him and he becomes innocent, I mean, and Disney has done rational things before, like firing James Gunn. Like that's the most dumbest thing that they can do. I honestly, and I would have an issue with that. Like that's not. I think that with him, because with him they have to wait. They didn't that when Jeremy Renner was going through what he was going through, he's still Hawkeye. Not to say that those things were not. I think those were proven not true in a court of law. So they actually waited for those things to come out to make sure that they were proven, but they gave Jeremy Renner that time. I'm assuming they should do the same thing for Jonathan Majors. So if we could read a report within the next couple of weeks that Jonathan Majors is now cut as Kang, and we have not heard anything from his legal team, or we haven't heard anything from the city that's actually filed these charges against them, I think that would be bad business on Disney's part. But Jeremy, you heard this story. What do you think about Jonathan Majors falling into this situation? And also, do you think that it would be necessary for Disney to cut ties now before we get any solution behind this?
So the wheels of justice turn slow. It might be a year before his case goes to trial. I mean, think about the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp thing, how long that was drawn out. You
Yeah.
don't want to fire an innocent black man. from your company from a PR perspective. It ain't going to look good for your brand. There's going to be a lot of people that are upset about that. And, you know, if it turns out he's innocent, rightfully so. You know, like you mentioned, Jeremy Renner. I mean, we look at Ezra Miller, whose movie The Flash is still coming out. Also, I should mention that I don't think not guilty is the same thing as innocent. Courts don't find you innocent. They just find you not guilty. So just because he's got better attorneys than this woman doesn't, to me, it doesn't say anything really conclusively. But what else do we have to go on? You know, all we have to go on is the objectivity of what the courts decide. We can have our own takes on it, but ultimately, if the jury decides him not guilty, then he's not guilty in the eyes of the law. Do with that what you will. Part of my moral quandary about this is once we start comparing the black man to the white man, we dismiss this victim who is a woman, who is a black woman. Whose side does the community take when it comes to the intersectionality of the conversation? Is it fair?
Are you sure she's a black woman? Sorry to interrupt, because I heard she was a white woman.
No, I am not. That was presumptuous of me. You could be absolutely right.
Okay.
That
That's
does
just a rumor, though. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, we're not sure what the race of this woman is. I've
Now-
heard white and I've also heard black. So go ahead and continue.
Now that does change things. But again, is she black first or white first, or is she a woman first? What protected group does she fall into primarily versus secondarily? And that's the kind of interesting thing, is once we start looking at people according to their demographics as opposed to according to who they are as an individual, then we do get these really polarizing sides of things. One of my favorite takes, because of how fucking idiotic it is I saw this dude on John Campia's video the other day basically say a lot of people could play Kang. Why not John David Washington? He could be a good replacement. Underneath that comment was some other dude that was like, to only consider black actors is racist. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't think that's what racism looks like, my dude. Like, what a stupid fucking take to say something like that. It shouldn't matter. But if they are taking the role from Jonathan Majors, it would be weird to give it to Leonardo DiCaprio. That would be weird, right?
It would be very weird.
But Kang is a variant. You know, there's millions of them. So you really could cast anybody. But I just thought that was an idiotic take. In the same way, that's an idiotic take. I think it's an idiotic take to say we have to protect him because he's a black man. If this person got away with horrible atrocities, then this person should be able to get away with horrible atrocities. Look, I'm a white guy. I don't understand the deeper emotional complexities of these issues. I come from a position of privilege to be able to look at it strictly from my perspective and say, I'm trying to look at this person as an individual. I don't know him. I don't know anybody that knows him. I don't know anybody in Hollywood. I do know that there was a school in Washington, like a performance arts school, where multiple people said he was a psychopath. Who are those people? I don't know them either. I do know that there were filmmakers that said that he was problematic, but the thousands of people that he probably worked with on the set of the Marvel movies or the Creed movies, they didn't say anything bad about him. So are these clout chasers who are just putting their bullshit out onto Twitter to get a little bit of notoriety for a minute? Did they have a terrible experience with him because he was having a bad day one day, and now they're just basing his whole persona on because I've been an asshole before, you know what I mean? So like I can't say for sure, but I don't like the idea of condemning him or defending him because of his race. And I do feel like that's a lot of what the social conversation is right now. You're either on this side or this side. But I do think it doesn't look good. I also think it's very difficult to fire somebody who hasn't been convicted of anything. But I don't know that you can wait as long as it would take. And if I were his attorney, my strategy would be, let's push this shit back as far as we can so we can get through the Kang dynasty so my client can make his money before he gets kicked off this thing. That would be the best legal advice that I could come up with. But I don't have a real strong answer. I've just got a lot of kind of philosophical questions about it. I'm actually more interested in hearing other people's takes, but I don't think it looks good. My gut instinct says it doesn't look good for this guy.
Yeah, and I feel that, and I don't think it looks good because there's too many things surrounding it. Also, there's that stigma on him as well. By the way, I wanted to address something. There was my friend who does work for marketing for Marvel, and then I have another friend who works for marketing at WB Warner Brothers. He actually was an assistant, just as assistant on Creed, and he got to meet Jonathan Majors and the rest of
That's cool.
the crew. All and when I asked him how he was as a person, and again, this is just strictly what he said. He said he's just an average actor trying to work. That was it. He wasn't an asshole. I mean, as far as the little time that he saw him, mind you, he wasn't there every day. He didn't see how he interacted with other people. When he was there, when they were shooting Creed, he saw him for that maybe 5 or 6 minutes, and he was just an actor trying to do the best job that he could be.
Makes
So
sense.
I would say that those people who have said those things about Jonathan Majors, they could be true, they could not be true. But then again, I have not, like you said, I've not heard anybody from the Ant-Man set, the Creed set, or even that flight movie set that he was on say
Good point.
anything negative about him. Even the commercial that he did about the army when they took his commercial down, none of them have said anything bad about him. But Ian, I had you on the show last time. You popped in and you gave your 2 cents about it. What do you think about Disney potentially removing Jonathan Majors? And do you think it's necessary for them to remove them, even though nothing has come out legally, whether he's guilty or innocent?
Well, first I like to say I like Jeremy's take a lot. It was very balanced. Yes, you should so the last thing you want to do is fire an innocent black man. But man, you can get rid of a dirty nigga for sure. I would be down
Yeah,
for that.
yeah, yeah.
I would
Yeah.
definitely be down for that. But this is complicated, man. And I know Jeremy can relate as somebody that's been in the system and seen legal things with friends and stuff like that. The longer you wait, especially a high profile person, man, it doesn't look good. Because if you're claiming, like the lawyer said, I have video evidence. We have text messages. We have all this proof, but we saw the text message, but if we have all this proof to clear them, we've not seen all this proof that you claim that you have. And then the next day after you saying this, there's the courts are saying, hey, we want to continue going through with this with the charges. Doesn't look good. Usually if you have the proof, they're like, all right, charges dropped immediately. The courts might have something on them that they're like, oh, we're pretty confident. And you got to be very confident to have something on a high profile person that that can probably get out of it with their money. So I'm with him. Like, yeah, the longer we wait, man, the longer it doesn't look so good. As in recasting, yes, I think if he has if he's 100% guilty, like as we all stated, we don't know. We don't have the proof. We don't have anything to go by. So let's not assume he is guilty. He could be innocent. But yeah, I think it'd be perfect to recast him. And I think he is recastable. He shot his scenes for Loki, as you said. So like after that, I mean, they might have to reshoot like the last scene and have that one die. And then who's the guy from Mandalorian that he wants to play Professor Xavier? What is his name?
Juan Carlo Esposito.
Yeah, I think he'd be a great older Kang, honestly.
Yeah.
I think he'd be great. As to that comment too that you read, that's funny. White people, not all white people, let me emphasize that. White people always look for racism where it's not there just because they like always want to be included.
Yeah. Yeah.
Racist because come on, that's not real racism, man.
I'm persecuted too, damn it.
Yeah, there's always want to be included, even with the negative shit. Weird. But that's why I had to laugh about that. But yeah, I think he's 100% able to be recast. He was a great Kang. As much as like I thought Quantumania was okay. I didn't hate it like a lot of people, but I definitely not one of the best movies ever. And I like his performance as Kang. I thought he was great in Loki as well. But he is replaceable, honestly, especially with the variants. It's not impossible to do. And if they do it correctly, I'm all right. I'm okay with that. Like it's not like they're replacing Robert Downey Jr. Like Kang just got here. Like he
Yeah.
didn't earn our love. He's earned my like for sure.
Yeah.
But like, yeah. So that's my take on that. He's replaceable. And if he did do this, I think they should replace him because you got to show like that you saw what they did to Gina. I think it was 100%. I think they should have fired her because Disney gave her multiple chances to stop doing what she was doing and she got fired. I agree with that. But if you keep this guy on and you fired her, it kind of does look terrible. It does.
Yeah.
Let's go around the panel real quick because I think we all gave a bunch of non-answers. You are Disney. Today is the day. Do you fire Jonathan Majors and replace him for future projects, or do you decide to not fire him and wait for the verdict to come out, Alex?
I say no, because I'm
You
telling you
saying today?
Yeah.
Sorry.
like if,
Okay.
if today was the day, if I'm in that boardroom, I'm telling Bob Iger, do not fire him because if the aftermath, if the fact that he is innocent, there are gonna be a lot of black people angry.
Yes.
And I'm willing to bet even the actors, the black actors who work at Disney, they're gonna have a problem with that too.
Yes.
So I wouldn't do that.
You
if
just
I
lost
were-
Wakanda for sure.
Yes. Yes.
Look,
No.
I'm gonna look at the charts and the data and say, are there more box office dollars in one audience versus the other? I'm making the executive decision to fire him today. Ian?
I don't think I could go that route, man. Like I said, I'm leaning toward he might be guilty just because of, like I said, being in the system and seeing how this works. But I think that's still jumping the gun. You could out of nowhere, lawyers are tricky sons of bitches. So
Yeah,
they are.
I don't know. Like I would never fire somebody until a verdict is. Now, if a video comes out tomorrow and you just see him just going Creed on this bitch, yes, fire him immediately without even going to court. Just like we can't defend this.
Exactly.
Now, so like that's why I gotta have a little bit more. Even though I am leaning toward he probably did do something, I would never. I don't think it's the smartest idea to fire somebody until you get the 100% proof.
Agreed completely.
Because you'll lose, like I said, you'll lose
make.
Wakanda. Yeah, you'll lose your new Black Captain America.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, there
Rhodey's
will
gone.
not be a Black Panther 3. They might as well just sell the rights to Universal or something. Because at that point, people are going to be pissed. So, but what do you guys think? What do you guys think about Jonathan Majors potentially being replaced at Disney? By the way, this is not confirmed. There have been reports that some executives have been discussing it. But again, nothing has been confirmed. And also, as far as his innocence is confirmed, we don't know if he's guilty or innocent yet. So nothing has come out recently. This is all just speculation and good conversation. So what do you guys think? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Before we get into our second topic, which I think is going to be a very fun topic, let's hear a word from our sponsors. I want to take this moment and thank our sponsors, Blurred Creations. Blurred Creations is an independent Black-owned anime apparel company that produces high quality apparel on their website. If you go to Blurred Creations, you get things from shirts to accessories to all different types of apparel of your favorite anime characters. And guess what, guys? We're running a special on this particular website. If you type in the promo code MOMENTUM, you get 15% off each purchase of any item on the website. So if you are a supporter of mine and you want to support this independent Black company, go to their website at Blurred Creations, type in the word momentum, and you get 15% off each purchase on their website. I want to thank you guys again for supporting our sponsors, and also, guys, be a sponsor and a subscriber of our YouTube channel, Momentum Media.
Awesome. Look at you, man. Congratulations.
Thank you. I love it.
Thank you, bro. Thank you, guys. Thank you. But yeah, definitely check out Blurred Creations. They have a lot of great apparel, and I am fortunate that they keep sponsoring us here on Momentum Media. Now let's go ahead and jump into our second topic, and our second topic comes from Miss Iris Peoples. And
hey, Iris!
Yo, when y'all hear this question, I think she might be a little angry. I don't know. Just
Oh
Uh-oh.
just the
no.
way she
Uh-oh.
she phrased it. So she writes, "Hey guys, so Alex, do you remember when you reported on Monique getting her Netflix special, and you're saying that if it's not great, it's going to be like a shit show, or well, her exact words were, if it's not great, do you believe it's going to be a shit show, or if it is great, it's going to be just as good as Dave Chappelle? Well, her Netflix special just came out last week. My name is Monique. I saw the special, and honestly, I thought it was okay for a special. What do you guys think? And please give us your honest opinions about this special. Well, thank you for your question, Iris. Before I even give my opinion, I need to ask you guys: have you guys even seen this special yet?
No.
Mm-mm.
You haven't seen? Okay. See, this goes to what I was saying earlier. Okay, so I before I even pass it to any of you guys, I've seen the special, and the episode that Iris is referring to is an episode me and Jeremy did, because we broke down how she boycotted Netflix, tried to sue Netflix, and now all of a sudden she has a special at Netflix. So she did a special called My Name Is Monique, and the reason why I asked my panel, have they seen it, is because it goes to a larger point of the fact that no one gives a damn about her special. But from someone who has seen it, I will say this: Monique is funny. Absolutely. This special, it's not Dave Chappelle's Sticks and Stones. It's not Chris Rock's Selective Outrage. It's definitely not even Chris Rock's Tambourine. It's not even Chris Tucker's Netflix Live. And that was the last special that Chris Tucker did years ago. I think back in 2014, 15. And that special was mediocre at best. And Chris Tucker is a hell of a comedian. Um this special is very, it's like she has an agenda of not necessarily attacking everybody who that she had an issue with, because she barely addresses that, but a lot of that, just it talks about her life and her open marriage with her husband, and some of it's funny and some of it's not funny, and a lot of it is just nothing that she hasn't already done at improv clubs, if I'm being honest. And I think Netflix did this to prove a point that, listen, we gonna give you what you're asking for to an extent, but we want you to understand that although you are a legendary comedian, which I won't take away from, she is a legendary comedian. She is funny. Monique is a staple in the comedy in this comedy world. So I'm not gonna act like she's not a funny woman. She's amazing. She's disrespectful on the mic. She's awesome. This special ain't it. All this crying and entitlement of what she deserved, this was not it for me. Again, I saw Monique at the Improv Club, and she was funnier there at the Improv Club here in my city than she was on Netflix. So there was just a lot of stuff that they put together in this special that I did not like. I know you guys have not seen it, but I just want to ask my general thoughts after hearing what I've said. Are you guys even considering watching this Netflix special? So I'll go to you first, Ian.
No. No. I've listened, look, and I'll echo a little bit what you said. Like Monique is like one of the staples of female, black female, just comedians in general. Like after the Kings of Comedy, man, that's when she kind of blew up because she was a queen of comedy. She has the dope show. Was it the Parkers, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So nobody's saying that she's not funny. And if she's deserving of anything, she deserves it. Good for her. Good, glad she fought these people like Rocky to get her special. Whatever. Um, I just listened to a grown woman, whine and cry for like what 5 years,
Yes.
complain, and then Netflix is like, all right, fine, just give it to her. There's just shit like that, man, just turns me off. Like it was all unnecessary and dumb. Like, in this day and age, you could put out your own special. For example, My favorite special this year is from Louis C.K. and it's called Louis C.K. At the Dolby, I think, and it just came out last year. I mean, not last year, last week. A lot of people don't know it. If you're not a Louis C.K. fan, you might not know. I get the emails. He's one of my favorite comedians of all time. Obviously, he was canceled, so he's not as public as he was. But man, that was a very funny special. I definitely recommend anyone do it. He sells it on his website personally for $10. He makes 100% commission on that, 100%. So it's not like he's got to share it with Netflix or anything like that. That's for his fans. Monique, if she's popular, she has her own fan base. If Netflix is not doing this for her, she could have did that. And let's see how many people really like Monique. That's my opinion. And this Louis C.K. still does great by himself. He tries to do what the public thing. Of course, oh, he's a sexual predator, stuff like that will immediately come out. So he's just like, you know what, I'm not fucking with anybody, just my fans. So I think that would have been a good route for her if she would have did that. As for her willingness to be funny, she is funny. I've laughed at some of her things. To me, her comedy is not my thing. It's like, I think what was that dude? There's a comedian that made fun of her when she was going through some shit. He has his own podcast.
D.L. Hughley?
Huh?
Was it D.L. Hughley?
No, not DL Hughley, but I'm not happy with the thing she said about DL's daughter. That was
called for.
What was that Chucky comedian that has his own podcast that's really unfiltered?
Bert?
No, it was a black dude. He does a very good Shaquille O'Neal impression. Damn it. What is his name? Anyways,
Ari Spears?
What? It's not Ari Spears. What were you saying?
Ari Spears?
It's not Ari Spears either.
Corey Holcomb?
Corey Holcomb, there you go.
All
Corey
right,
Holcomb actually said like she's the my fat ass needs a donut comedian. Just always talking about jokes about being chunky. It's just I don't know. It's kind of I feel like it might be that or a lot of complaining about Hollywood and stuff like that. Whenever I can kind of call what you're gonna talk about, I'm not for it. But good luck to her. I don't wish her any ill will, but like that's. Her style of comedy is not it, and I'm really always rooting for black women in comedy. Like it just seems like she's the face, and it's kind of making other black women look bad, and it kind of sucks. Simone's funny, Wanda Sykes is funny, but I'd like to see more come up.
Okay, Jeremy, I pass the same question to you after hearing my take on it, and even Ian not wanting to see it. Does this make you want to pop in and watch My Name is Monique on Netflix?
I think we found the line of where my blackness ends, right? Like we have gotten into the weeds on some shit that I don't even know about. I know who Monique is, right? I don't know much about her, honestly. I did watch Kings of Comedy back in the day. I don't know. I mean, no, this doesn't interest me. It sounds, both of y'all are basically saying she's not funny, so I'm not super excited about it. But couple questions. Just let's. Are there any trans jokes in it?
Not really. No.
Okay. Are there any woke what do they call it? Snowflake society's too sensitive jokes in it?
No.
Are these your checklists for what you want to see in a comedy special?
They're the opposite of that. I was fixing to say, if none of these things are in it, I'll fucking give it a watch because she's the only comedian not doing those same jokes. When you said it's not Chappelle, it's not when you went down the list, I'm like because they're all the same special. That's why.
Who expects her to be Chappelle? Nobody does.
She's not I don't expect her to address those. Funny is funny to me. So
exactly.
You can talk about anything, but to your point, she's not addressing social issues. She's talking more so about her marriage than anything else.
I kind of like that. I kind of like that. That's refreshing. Me, I don't know. I still don't think I'll check it out, but at least she's taken a different path. Granted, if she did go down those other paths, it might draw attention to the controversy surrounding her getting the special in the first place. But yeah, I don't know. Is it a series or is it a?
No, it's a special. It's it's literally about an hour special.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I don't know the comedian y'all are talking about. A lot of the I don't know. I've never seen a Monique special before, but I do, I'm culturally aware of who she is in the same way that I'm aware of
Collard
I don't
greens.
know. Bette Midler. No, I wasn't going to go that direction because I love collard greens, right?
Wow.
I really do. You got to put that pepper sauce on them, like it comes with the peppers in it. You know what I'm talking about?
Clip this. That's
Whatever.
funny.
I'm
Yeah,
done.
yeah.
Wow.
All
Um
right, I'm done.
okay, well, this
I know
conversation
Monique. I
just
know
got
collard
off the
greens. I know, other black shit. That's funny.
fun fact, I do not like collard greens, but
What?
that says
I
a lot
love
about
collard greens.
my black card, I guess.
Hey, Jeremy's
um
right though. You got to put the pepper sauce in it. You right.
Uh-huh.
you definitely do. But I mean, for the people who have seen her special, please leave a comment on below. The one thing
Nobody's
I
seen
will
the
say,
special, my guy.
the one thing I will say, um, there's not too many people on YouTube who've actually discussed this. Comedy Hype did, and it's funny. I sent Pierre a message. I was like, "Did you really watch the special?" And he told me, he said, "Yeah, I watched the special, but did you really think it was funny?" He said, "Yeah, but it's not her best work," and that's just how I feel. So personally, if only one outlet really, that and maybe I think the Breakfast Club, two outlets have really discussed your special, I don't think it was the thing that you were perpetuating it to be, but the people who have seen it, leave a comment below. Tell me what you thought about it. Do you think I'm wrong? Do you think it was a great special, or do you think it was a horrible special? Jump in
What
the
do you think
comment section
about
below.
collard greens?
Also,
Yes,
yeah,
let
what do
us
you think about
know.
collard
Let us
greens?
know.
Just leave a comment below. Leave a comment on the comment section below. All right, guys, we got our last and final topic, and our last and final topic comes from a newcomer, Miss Bradley, Mr. Bradley Jensen. Thank you for being a
Welcome.
newcomer on the show. He writes, "Hey guys, so we are in the new year and the new phase of the MCU. So
Oh
far,
god.
I'm hoping that Phase 5 will be a comeback for the MCU. With Bob Iger restructuring everything, do you think that we will get a rebirth of the MCU in Phase 5 where everything will actually make sense versus what we got in Phase 4 where they included everything, but everything did not make sense. Where they had some good movies and a lot of bad shows. What do you guys think?" Well, thank you for your question, Bradley. I think though when he asked this question, I'm not sure if he was asking this question right when the Marvels trailer came out, versus or I because he sent it to me before it came out, so I'm going to assume you're asking this pre Marvels. After seeing the Marvels trailer and seeing what they're doing with Secret Invasion, I'm more excited for Secret Invasion than I am the Marvels. The Marvels trailer looks very like it looks like a very it looks good. Like I enjoyed it. Because like it looks like season 2 of Miss Marvel because there's a lot of her in there. But I'm curious to see how those three women are gonna come together and face off whatever the greater evil is. But to answer your question, MCU Phase 5. Let me just say this: I have some hope because there are some titles that are coming out that I'm excited for. However, I think that the MCU, their problem is oversaturation and introducing new characters without a new narrative. My question has been, okay, if we're doing the multiverse and Kang is the guy we're fighting, why is it going to take this many characters to fight him? And a lot of them are derivative characters of the main Avengers. So we got Sam Wilson's Captain America from Steve Rogers. We got She-Hulk and the Hulk. And now we have Hulk's son. Now and then we have Daredevil. I don't see where Daredevil plays a role in the Avengers because but then again, if you can put Hawkeye in the Avengers, you can probably put Daredevil in the Avengers. So I mean, I'm curious to see where the end game is, if you will. But ultimately, I do have a little bit more hope in MCU in terms of Phase 5 than I did with Phase 4. I'm hoping it's a better narrative. Like I said, I really enjoyed the recent Secret Invasion trailer that came out, where they're making Nick Fury a little bit more grounded. And we also can't tell if this is actual Nick Fury or a scroll. So there's that dynamic. Then also, is that Nick Fury in space the actual Nick Fury? Or is that a scroll talking to the Marvels? Who knows? Like there's so many questions. And so I'm just hoping that we get this a little bit more central and less oversaturation of new characters, but revitalizing the MCU as a whole. So uh Jeremy, do you have hope for the phase 5? Do you think this will be the MCU's comeback, or do you think this is going to be basically a deterrent like phase 4?
Who asked the question? New viewer?
Bradley Jensen or Jansen.
Bradley started watching and stopped watching in the same episode because of my take on collard greens, and then because I'm gonna you caught me at a bad time in my career, buddy. Bradley.
Cancel.
I was so enthusiastic about Marvel for a long time, and I think everybody on this panel are pretty dedicated Marvel fans, right? Like the
Absolutely.
Infinity Saga is in my approximation the greatest movie franchise of all time. Since then, they've definitely had some missteps. I think Alex makes a lot of good points. They're introducing so many characters, and they're not really focusing in on as many of them as recurring characters. Don't like there are notable exceptions. Kamala Khan, Monica Rambeau, like there are exceptions, obviously, that we're starting to see these characters come back around. But phase 4 was just bring in as many as you can, get most of the cast members to have children that basically fill the same role. And I'm not so interested in that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to be objective, there are many adults now that had children in the interim between when Iron Man started and where we're at now. It's been 15 years. So a lot can change in 15 years. And I imagine there is a very specific audience of young fathers that want to take their children to see these movies. And the kids are probably somewhere in that same age as baby Thor and baby Hulk and like, the Avenger babies. So like, I can see the appeal of it. It ain't it for me, really. As I look at the lineup, I'm excited that there's a Blade movie coming out, and I actually saw that they cast Mia Goth in it.
Great casting for horror.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This was just like
yeah.
a day or two ago, so I
Yeah.
think that's exciting. There are projects throughout this that I'm interested in. I like Sam Wilson as Captain America. He is an established character that we've seen since the beginning, so I'm interested to see more of his story. I like Loki. I like the ones that I'm the most familiar with. I am invested. I think Secret Invasion looks good. I actually did think the trailer to the Marvels looked really good. So there's a lot of this stuff that has potential, but I feel that we've hit critical mass. If the next few things aren't great, I'm going to be even more negative than I am today. Fortunately, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is like the next thing we have out, and I'm sure that it's going to reignite that spark within a lot of the more cynical audiences like myself. So yeah, they've got nowhere to go but up from here, really. I think phase 4 was kind of a train wreck, so we'll see what happens.
You actually put a good point. They have nowhere to go but up from this point. I mean, I will say, the first film we got in phase 5 was Ant-Man Quantumanium. Not that great, but I mean, I think it's a good start to introduce their villain, but at the same time, I'm not too excited for it. But Ian, you are definitely an MCU fan. Do you think that phase 5 could be their comeback season, or do you think that we're just going to continue the same on confusion from phase 4?
Yeah, I think they have potential to come back. Will success lead with it though? That's a great question, man, because I think there's a lot of people that are frustrated with where's this going, or like it's just confusion and a lot of people, they just want you to top the Endgame movie. Like that is the bar. And maybe they could do it with the Avengers movies in the future, but that right now, that is the bar, and it's really hard to top that. So you
That's a
really
good
got to
point.
start from the bottom, man. Some of the smaller scale movies, I think Secret Invasions looks great. I think the Marvels looks great. I'm excited for Daredevil. Guardians, of course, looks good. And then you got these mixed in things that don't make any sense, like Agatha and
Yeah, who
Echo. I
cares?
don't I don't understand what this has to do with the I mean, they're cool characters, but for their own franchise, like I don't know. It's weird decisions that they're making.
Agreed.
Also, not to put these two against each other, but right now, all eyes are on DC. Like this
Yeah,
is the new brand. They're rebranding. James Gunn
yeah.
is starting from the bottom. He's doing this. I think the curiosity is going to be going over there, especially with these new products that nobody even knows about.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that might take a little bit away from Marvel because it's going to have a lot of their attraction. Now, if it sucks, they're going to keep going with Marvel. Now, but I do think James Gunn is going to put out some decent shit. On top of that, me myself, I said before the show, I think A2024 is having a great year, which my point is there's a lot of movies that have nothing to do with superhero movies that have a lot of people's attention.
Yep.
This has been a good year for non-superhero movies. Like the last 5 years, it's been superhero movies, superhero movies. This year is like other people got their attentions on other things. And so like my point is other things around Marvel might not might give it bad success, even if the quality is good, which it looks like it is good. Now we've seen things that look good that suck, but the quality of this stuff looks good. Still confused on where it's going. Of course, it's going to lead to Kang, but these products are coming out. I'm confused where how the Guardians movie leads to Kang. I'm confused how Secret Wars leads to Kang, but whatever. If it makes sense, it makes sense whenever we see it. But yeah, I think there's a lot of distractions around it that might hinder the success. Loyal fans like us that's been there since Iron Man 1, we gonna watch it regardless.
Yep.
I'm
Mhm.
dedicated, but same time though, I think they might have some hole or they might have some problems in the future when it comes to financial success. I'm hoping, who cares about that? To me, I'm hoping from a story narrative it starts to make better sense. I hope they learn from their mistakes of phase 4 and they move forward with better products.
I had a question because you made a good point. You said all eyes are on DC, given the fact that everything that James Gunn is building is going to be essentially brand new. Do you think once we start getting, because I think their first official film is in 2025 with Superman Legacy. Once we get that kicked off, would you say that would be the point where we can actually have, well, the conversation will change where DC is better than Marvel?
I don't know if they're gonna have the conversation of DC being better. If that movie is as good as like Iron Man, all eyes will be on DC. I think people are going to do the shift. I'm not going to say it's going to be better than Marvel because that's just one movie. You can't. We have
Mhm.
the Infinity Saga. That is like Jeremy was saying. That is the blueprint of like a
Mhm.
great
Mhm.
movie series, like the
Mhm.
Infinity Saga. But if it is as good as Iron Man 1, that's all you need to be as good as Iron Man 1. This Iron Man 1 is not the best but if it's as good as Iron Man 1, all eyes will be on DC and we'll be like, all right, what else you got? You're making an effort to be as good. Um right now, of course, Marvel's still leagues behind it, but man, it's kind of like you're in a race and Marvel's winning, but then you see this guy getting a little closer. That's what I would feel like if it is as good as Iron Man 1. And now people will be like, okay, well, he's coming up. He wants to be in the competition.
How do you feel about that, Jeremy?
I think that's a great take. What was the question? I fell out of the chat for a minute.
Oh, you're fine. Yeah. The question was, with James Gunn rebuilding and doing things at DC, do you think that once Superman Legacy comes out in 2025, do you think that it will that will be the conversation where DC is now rivaling Marvel, not necessarily better than Marvel, but they're actually
That's what you
putting
said
out
to
a
me. You said
product that's
better than
better.
Marvel. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Well, better than Marvel.
Okay. I wonder how much this has to do with brand. I know how much this has to do with brand. People love Disney. People love Marvel. People love Star Wars. There's a whole different kind of uh sentimentality built in with all of those brands. People love DC too, but they love it in a hateful way. You know what I'm saying? Like Warner Brothers DC fans, they're like coming from a defensive position. Like they love it, but I think they love Zack Snyder's DC. I don't know that they want to love James Gunn's DC. I think they're going to be like, it's the Marvelization of DC. You can see it in the Blue Beetle trailer. Everything's going to be quippy. You know, a lot of the things that they say about Marvel movies, I have a feeling they're going to resent the fact that James Gunn, who's been such a stalwart of this brand, is going to be coming over. I wonder, though, ultimately, how much of this do audiences care about? Does it really matter if it's Ant-Man, or does it really matter if it's Shazam, or does it really matter if it's the Wolverine or Deadpool, or is it all kind of the same thing? And that's what I'm curious about. I don't know that the spark is ever going, like, inevitably a star burns out, right? And it may take a very long time for it to happen, but it is an inevitability. Eventually, it's going to disappear into nothingness. And we saw it happen with the Western genre. There have been many genres over the years that became the dominant force in the movie theater. The 80s action movies, right? Like that was a very distinctive R-rated, the buddy cop things. Like you still see them come out every once in a while, but they are not the prominent type of movie. Sex comedies from the early 2000s, the 80s, you know, like things move in cycles. And I'm not saying that superhero movies will never come back around, but I don't wonder if the candle is just burning down and burning down and burning down. And eventually it's not going to matter if it's Superman or if it's Spider-Man, that people are just going to be done with it. But the brand is still strong today. Obviously, the people that are watching this show, the people that consume the superhero content and the Star Wars content on the internet, they're still a devoted bunch of individuals. And Ian's right. Like, I'm bought in at this point. I watch the new series when they come out. I go and watch the movies. And when I said Phase 4 is a train wreck, I think that's a bit of an overstatement. I don't think it was a train wreck. There were certainly good things within it, but it did feel like they were trying to put way too many things into motion and not really, I think Ian said it really well, not really building any one character up in the same way that they were like the driving force of the franchise. So, you know, I don't think that the change to DC is going to make everybody that watches Marvel all of a sudden go over and watch DC movies. I think everybody that's into it is still going to go see both, and that we are going to continue to see diminishing returns.
And I'm calling it now. I'm calling it now. You know how you said Westerns was the wave, and now it's superhero movies. I'm calling it now. Video game adaptations is going to be the next wave. I'm calling
it. We're seeing it. That's a good call.
I fundamentally disagree with that, only because we only have three examples of that, and there's not enough evidence to support that just yet.
Hey, it's the start. Sonic was the beginning. Sonic was the beginning, and now you got The Last of Us, and you got Mario doing numbers. It's just the beginning. I'm not saying it's taking over now, but I'm seeing it. People are gonna be like, okay, what else?
That's why when I hear that conversation, we're gonna do a Legend of Zelda movie. I'm telling you, that movie, the fact that your main character does not talk and you're gonna give him a voice,
he can talk.
Huh?
He can talk. Look, Chris Pratt was Mario, and everybody was hating, and it was the biggest animated movie of all time.
Yes, Mario couldn't talk, but at the same time, Mario had its own adventures that you could play upon. I knew that was going to be a fun movie, but
I can't believe you're disrespecting The Legend of Zelda like this.
Legend of Zelda is a fun. I mean, anyone who's played the game, it's fun.
Yeah,
but there is no intense dialogue there. It's an experience.
All right, whatever.
And that's what good writing will bring. That's what good writing will bring. The Last of Us, they brought good writing to like the character with the two gay dudes. Apparently in the game, it wasn't that deep, but they made it deep. That's what good writing does.
I love this shit, by the way. It's all fun to me.
By the way, did you guys see Mario?
I haven't seen it. My son did, though. He loved it.
No, I don't watch that shit.
Oh wow! I mean,
I'm gonna go see it.
I'm gonna see it too. Yeah, but I haven't seen it yet.
It's definitely a fun movie. I didn't go to the theater and see it, but I did see it.
Yeah,
Is
So
it
yeah.
better than
it's a
Sonic?
fun, huh?
Is it better
Is it?
than Sonic?
No,
Okay,
absolutely not.
Really?
No, no.
interesting.
I like Sonic 2 more than I liked this. It's better.
Yeah.
I say it's better than Sonic 1, but
Okay,
not Sonic 2. No,
interesting. All right.
not at all. But
No,
what do
I'm still
you
calling
guys
it, man. Video game adaptations. You got millions you could work with. I think it's going to be the next wave. But
listen?
we'll see.
Listen, I'm eager to see that. And when we get to the conversation where video game adaptations are rivaling comic book movies, I think that's going to be a very amazing debate amongst creators.
Yeah.
But given the fact we only have 3 examples of that, and
Hey,
like the
it's the
last
beginning.
5 years,
Everything has at the
I don't
beginning,
know.
Alex.
Yeah, yeah, this is the beginning. So we'll see. We'll definitely see. But what do you guys think? That's actually interesting. Actually, debate. I might come up with season 4 real debates, but I don't know. But what do you guys think? Do you think that the MCU will make a comeback in Phase 5, and do you think it will definitely do better than Phase 4? And also to that, do you think that James Gunn's DC will be better than the MCU once it gets off the ground? Jump into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. And that would do it for today's episode of the Ask Alex Show. Definitely a jam-packed episode. We had great
Yeah.
conversation. Jeremy, where can we find you on social media?
Check out the Pop Culture Nihilist on YouTube. Check out Jeremy G Branch on Twitter, and that's mostly it. Check out Lucid Memory on YouTube as well. That's my other channel.
Good vibes.
Awesome. Definitely dope
Vibes.
vibes. Definitely dope vibes. And Ian, where can we find you on YouTube and social media?
You can find me at youtube.com/Ian Elliott Carter or Instagram/Ian Elliott Carter. Sorry. Yeah, Ian Elliott Carter. Or Twitter, Ian Elliott Carter. Find me anywhere. That's my name. Don't wear it out.
Awesome, awesome. And you know where to find us, guys, here at Momentum Media. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And also support our sponsors, Blurred Creations. Again,
Yes.
15% off each purchase. They have a lot of great apparel, so definitely check them out. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Ask Alex. And as always, you guys, have a blessed day.
Yeah. Hello?
I guess he's out.
I guess we're out. All right. Well, it was good talking to y'all, man. It was a good show.
Yeah, hit me up, man. I talk.
For sure, man. I got you. I'm gonna holler at you. Yeah.
My shit froze up.
Yeah, my bad, guys.
I think Ian dipped.
All right.
John Campia, is that what you're talking about?